Welcome to another episode of Straight Facts with Gutta. This is episode 13 with the beautiful and talented Tanisha Castellanos, LCSW. How you doing tonight, sweetie? That's
I'm
you.
well. I'm well. How are you? That's
Blessed and highly
me.
favored. Blessed and highly favored. So we bring you
Awesome.
here tonight. You have been on the circuit for years now. You have done a lot of amazing things. You're very heavy into the community, mental health advocacy, and I see that you're doing a lot of things now that to even catapult your portfolio even further. And you have something that you want to let the people know about. Actually, you have a couple of things you want to let the people know about that are major. So it's a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Let the people know what you're working on and how you went from where you started to where you're at and then where you want to take it. Because Miss Castellanos is not done. She's just getting started. You guys are just now getting to know her, and she's doing a lot of big things. And so let the people know what you're working on.
Why, thank you so much for that
You're welcome.
introduction. I'm going to say it right. Straight facts with Gutta,
Yes, ma'am.
not Gouda.
Nah, you said it. You said it. You're the only person that got away with saying Jay Gouda for years. Yeah, but we have to
I
correct
am
it at some point.
sorry.
It,
No,
it's fine.
thank you so much for having me though here on episode 13 and your platform and your audience and your people. I really, really appreciate that so much. Um, what can I even say? Thank you. It's when I think about the years that I've put in, as a doing clinical work as a social worker, being an LCSW. For those that don't know, that's a licensed clinical social worker. From having my brand, Castellanos Coaching and Consulting LLC. Um, Probably one of the biggest exposures that I've been afforded with is coming up recently, where I'll be featured in a two-page spread in Amari Magazine, which is based out on the West Coast. Um, what's amazing about this is I really want to give the message that you never know who's watching you. You never
Right.
know who's going to share your content with who. And I believe I'm coming from a faith-based Christian perspective. Okay. So when I talk, you're going to hear about God making a way and stuff. That's just part of who I am. There's no gimmicks to that. That's just truly a part of my story. And it's amazing because as I was thinking about coming on this, on the podcast and talking, I made a commitment last August. It's been about a year where I said, I'm going to take like 9 to 12 months and really focus on myself and really focus on my brand. And I just don't want to entertain anything that looks like a distraction or anything that's going to deter me from my purpose. So from September to December, for my social workers, we have to go through a lot of internships and schooling and clinical hours. And I focused on my clinical test, taking my C test, which I passed. So from September to December, that was my main focus.
Wait, you can't
From
just bypass that. You can't just bypass that. Like you passed. Like that's a milestone in itself. So congratulations to you. That's beautiful. That's
Thank you,
beautiful.
thank you.
But continue.
Yeah, that the C is no joke. I give it. I love my profession of social work. I'm passionate about it. I'm currently a clinical supervisor now, where I supervise, facilitators and other social workers doing this work. And you go into this work because you love it. That's my hope, and because you're called and you're purposed. So when I took time off, I really shut out a lot of things from September. to December and said, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm taking my test right before, the end of the year. And I took it and I passed. And that was a huge, like, weight off my shoulders, but also a celebration too, because that was on my bucket list. Is it necessary for us to take that exam? Not necessarily, but it opens more doors. And the C is a very weighty letter, because you're moving into clinical medical with it. So that opens the doors for opening your own practice, for billing with insurances, for working with doctors. So it's different.
Right.
And those positions also hold administrative supervisor and director positions. So
You want to know what I
that
call
was
those
huge for
letters?
me.
You want to know what I call those letters?
Do
Fifty
I? I never
thousand.
know what you're gonna say sometimes.
No, I call those letters 50,000. Every letter after your name, my salary goes up 50,000. Don't talk to me nice. That's what you call those letters.
I, I like the way you talk. I like the way you talk. You're right. You're right. So I worked hard for that, and I really, like I said, I shut out the world and I really hunkered down, if you want to call it that, and studied and said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the exam. I'm going to pass it. Boom. And I did. Um, During that time period after that, from January up until now, um, I can't say this part of the story without including this. I had a very wonderful woman. Her ministry is out in Florida. She had contacted me, and I know her through social media, more on Facebook than anything. And she was like, I don't know for anyone that, this might sound weird to you, but there's some things called like God sometimes gives like different visions and prophetic words and that kind of thing. And she wrote me. And I don't know this woman. I never met her in person. This was in December before I even took my licensure test. And she said, I really feel impressed to share this with you that very soon there's going to be doors that open for you on the West Coast in California. She was specific with it. And she said a lot in this message to me, but she said, I don't know. Like I see, different words that she used were lights, camera, action, and God is going to open this door and that door and this door. Now, when I got this in December, I read this and a lot of my focus was on Miami, right? I did a lot of work. I was visiting Miami a lot. Miami's like a second home to me with the people I know there and family and friends. And I was like, man, I haven't been in the West Coast in like 10 years. And I love the West Coast. So it wasn't like a weird foreign thing, like, get out of here. That's crazy. It was more like, oh, I haven't even thought about the West Coast like that. But I have a special love for the West Coast. When I went on my first trip in 97, oh, I fell in love with the Starbucks and the frappes and LA, and I've visited there. It's my second most visited state. So all of that, I sat on that for a while, and I took from January up until now. I'm still on I focused on my health, and I was focusing on my brand. Right? I said I'm going to get healthy. For my people that might be listening, listen. I was. It's funny what starts to happen as you get healthy and as you start to heal. I've been plus size like my whole life, and I felt like this real urge to be real honest with you, Jay, like to get healthy. And I didn't know where that came from. I felt like God was just like, you need to get ready. And for me, it was not even how I looked, it was how I felt. I don't like anything extra on me.
Hmm.
I'm the type that likes to kind of pick up and go. You know what I'm saying? And not feel tired, not feel weighted. So I've lost about 40 something pounds since January. I'm just minding my business, focusing on my business. Thank you. And I want to say to anybody listening, this wasn't even a vanity thing of how I look, because listen, there's a lot of beautiful bevies that are plus size out there. Seriously, men and women, like killing the game. It was about health for me. And somebody asked me when that moment was for me. And I remember it was after a long day. My younger sister said to me, your feet, we were laughing. She said, your feet look like bread, like they're so swollen. And that's when I realized like I was just carrying too much weight for my frame. You know what I'm saying? And for my
Hmm.
body. And I didn't like that
And
feeling.
it goes into
And I
hypertension.
found myself just tired. Right. And I was like, whoa. And I looked and I said, I'm looking more swollen more now and now. And I didn't like that feeling. So for me, I was like, nah, I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? And your health, especially for the Latino community, the Black community, the Black and Brown community, we really have to give attention to that. So I'm minding my business, focusing on my health. Remember, I got this like prophetic word back in December.
Right.
I get a call in April out of nowhere. It was like a Tuesday afternoon from a very good friend of mine out on the West Coast. And she's like a social media, influencer. She has Ashley Nadine. She has her own shop out there. Has she's been published in a lot of different things. She speaks at a lot of different universities and all that good stuff. She called me and I missed the call and she texted me, give me a call when you have a minute. And she never texted me like that. So I said, oh my gosh, I hope everything's okay. You know when you get a call like that.
Right.
And I called her and she said, hey girl, how you doing? And we always check in with each other. But I said, Ash, like, what's up? She said, I gotta tell you, I'm working with this magazine, doing business with them. And I just feel like you're supposed to be connected to them for what you do and who you are. And it was that one phone call that everything that was spoken to me in December started to unravel. And I was
Wow.
reminded 2 days after. This is true story. God knows, I don't have to prove that to anyone. Like this is my story. This is the absolute truth. It still gives me goosebumps when I talk about it. And I said, "Oh my gosh, everything that Hadassah, this woman that told me this, is coming to life."
Right.
Not and she didn't know I had already booked tickets. Oh, let me mention this. Back in November, I had booked a ticket to visit the West Coast because one of my college best friends lives out there.
Okay.
And she's been trying for years to try to get me to come. And she was like, even if COVID, you know what I'm saying? If we're shut down, I just need you to come. Your nephews miss you. I miss you. And they live, her husband's in the Marines. So they live in a new place. And she was like, I just need family and friends, and I was so not knowing any of this was going to connect.
Right.
I think 3 days later, I'm on business calls with the magazine, the owner, the publisher, the editor. And it was boom, you're out here in May. Great. We want to feature you. We want to meet you and we want to do a photo shoot. We could do a photo shoot out in New York because we have a team there, but we want to do that out here when you're here.
Nice.
And yeah, it was like a Cinderella moment. Like I know life isn't perfect, but I do believe that we're afforded perfect moments.
Right.
I do think that God gives us that. And that's what happened. I mean, literally, I was like, okay, so this is going to be like a vacation, but work. And I got my life together and I got my things together for Cali and went out there and met the owner. And what's amazing is a couple days before my shoot, and what they wanted to focus on was, Castellanos Coaching and Consulting LLC and what that means and, the clientele and what the different aspects I work with them. But what's also an amazing part of the story is we're having lunch at this beautiful castle like place in Cali. And he tells me, oh, I'm such a fan of Lauren Daigle. She's a Christian singer. And I said, oh, I covered a song from her 2 years ago. It's on my YouTube. So, of course, he said, well, can I hear it? And he hears it and he says, you know, not only would I like to invite you to when the magazine comes out, that the issue you're going to be in, which is called the legacy issue. He said, I want to afford you and I want to reward you with an award we have called Heroes of Change, which focuses on people and their work within COVID, during the pandemic that were a service to people. And not only that, I would like you to sing at this award and magazine
Wow.
opening. And this is a red carpet event, and this is with celebrities, who have been on the covers. I mean, Taryn Manning was on the cover of the last issue. Celebrities attached have been Michelle Williams, Vivica Fox, Paris Hilton, Oscar De La Hoya, and not name dropping, but only for the giving a sense of, you know what I mean, this atmosphere of people.
Right. But here's the
Because
thing. But here's
Amari
the thing
Magazine
that
is wonderful.
people get misconstrued. Right. When you name drop and it's something that doesn't have a direct correlation with what you're doing, then is negative. But these are
Right.
people that actually have a relationship with this magazine. So these are prominent figures that are going to be at this event. That's just giving the people that visual of just how big this event is
Yes.
going to be. And look at everything that you started doing that manifested into what it has now become. You started thinking about your health. Your health is wealth. You started thinking about, okay, what else can I do? You started changing little things because, like you said, it's not about the vanity. It's not saying that there isn't an abundance of big beautiful women. That's not the case at
Right.
all. That's not. No one is saying that. What we're saying is, once we're not healthy, we're not good to ourselves or our family or those that love us, that want to see us live longer. One thing
Yes.
that I always tell people, and it's crazy because I've never seen a 80-year-old obese person.
Mm.
Think about that. So
Yeah.
that shows you that as we age and we keep a certain amount of weight, our heart can handle it when we get to a certain age. If you can show me an 80-year-old obese person, I'll give you $100. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
Or they don't live for long, or they're
They
sedentary.
don't.
They're ill, or they're just sitting, and their quality of life is shot, you know?
Right.
So, no, it's, all of this, I felt like I was in a place where, I knew like something greater was happening. I just couldn't connect the dots. It was nobody gassing me, nobody saying, I see this for you, Tanisha. I'm just keeping it honest. It wasn't like
Hmm.
I had anyone in my ear, like, I feel like you're going to be in a mag. No, it wasn't any of that. I was being prepared. God was preparing me to be on a national level, like going from a communicative, micro level to a macro level to a national level. And it really, nothing is so much more special than that, than just living in my purpose and living with intention.
Right. And when you stay ready, you don't have to get prepared.
That's it. And literally, I had 4 weeks to get ready, from April to May. And I was like, I'll never forget. I called my mom. She said, "What's up?" I said, "Listen, next Saturday, we got to go dress shopping. Don't ask too many questions. I'll explain when I pick you up." She said, "I'm ready," because my mom's like my road dog. You know what I mean? So she's like, "Whatever you got." So we're in the car. She's like, "Where are we going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to be bringing 3 outfits. I have a photo shoot out in Cali." What? It's like,
Oh my
I said, "Yeah."
God.
You remember, and this was a lot of challenges because, when you're home in New York, you got your own people, your hair people, your makeup people. I've done photo shoots like that before,
You
but
have your
this
whole
was
team
different. I'm
that you
going across the
trust.
country.
Right.
Right. I'm going across the country making I had to really make sure, my I's were dotted and my T's were crossed,
Right.
because I what I brought was what I brought. You know what I'm saying? And kind of the rest was by faith. And Amari's professional team is incredible. I mean, from their photography to their makeup artists to how they do things is absolutely wonderful. So I mean, the quality of the work, is unmatched. So I was in very good hands, but it was just such a whirlwind. And then out there, not even knowing that all of that was going to come, So I went out there in May. I'm headed out there the end of the month for August. Um, I'll be out there the last week in LA. And the magazine will be published and out August 25th. So that's when we'll be having this red carpet event and celebrating all of this.
August 25th. So you're ending the summer on the highest note you have ever sang, ever in your professional career.
Mm.
That is beautiful. That is amazing. That is a true testament of loving yourself, trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, trusting in God, trusting in a higher power, going by faith. You took a leap of faith. You had this conversation and you've had several conversations. And the thing is that we never know what's going to be a turning point, negative or positive, for any one of
Mm.
us. We don't know. And it's
Yes.
scary, but we have to go by faith. We have to because we never know
Yes.
what's going to be around the corner. And I always tell people, do good. Point blank. Do good.
Yeah.
Just do good to people, be good to people, be honest, be transparent because that is what's going to show God what you are made of. You know what I'm saying? Like don't
Yes.
treat the janitor the same way you treat a CEO. Don't don't
There
do
you
things
go.
to get something back. Don't do things because of what people could do for you. Do for everyone.
Right.
Just be a solid individual. And I don't understand why that is such a feat. Um, Especially for this generation. I
Mm.
don't get it. It's something where if you have to work towards being a good person, you're not a good person. Because being a good person should be something that's natural. It should be
Mm.
something that you just like like you wake up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face. It's a robotic thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Right.
should be the same thing with your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have to
Yeah.
think too hard about being a good person, then you're just not it.
Yeah.
And stay away from us because we don't need that energy. You know, it's
Yeah.
spooky. It's really spooky. And you know those, and there are a lot of those people, especially in this industry. It's a lot of people that are opportunists. It's
Mhm.
a lot of people that just want to see what they can get out of you or whatever the case may be. And that's, to each their own at the end of the day, but they can't be a part of our immediate circle. We know
Right.
them, but we don't know them. There's
Right.
a difference, you know?
There's a difference. No,
But
that
August
absolutely.
25th, oh my God, August 25th is the date. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You have manifested everything you have said you were going to do. And not a lot of people get to that pinnacle of, I did it. I said I was going to do
Yeah.
it and I did it. Like
I
you,
think even
it gets to a
yeah,
point where you
even you
have to
saying that
get
makes me
cocky.
emotional.
Yeah, like you have to get that confidence and that cockiness. It's not about trying to floss on people. It's not none of that. Like yo, you worked hard for this. This was nothing was handed to you at all. You busted your ass reading
Right.
those books. You went out there and did vocal coaching. You went out there and got licensed. You went out there and did your singing. Like you did this. You built these relationships. So I applaud you. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. There's nothing that you get that you don't deserve. Nothing.
Hmm.
You definitely everything you're getting, you deserve it. You worked for it. Like just and this is not even the end. This is just the middle point. This is the point where you almost at the hill and it's like, okay, so what's next for Miss Castellanos?
Right.
And nobody knows because you're the author
Nobody.
of your own story.
Right. I mean, you said so many gems there, Jay, you really did. Like when you are doing what you've been purposed to do, these connections will find you. You know, people
Right.
ask me often, how did that opportunity come about? You know what I mean? How do you know that person? How did this, right? How did that happen? I want to be in a magazine. I want to do this. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you got to check your motive. You
There's
want to
a
be in a
lot
magazine so
there's
you could
a
show your,
lot wrong with that. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
They didn't put the work in. Okay, so they want to take your connections for the work that you put in to say, put me on.
Right.
Why? Why?
Oh,
You didn't work for
right.
this shit. I did.
And those
There's a lot wrong with that.
no, and it's what I'm saying is this. Okay, let me clarify. Nothing's wrong with it per se because listen, if you have a brand, you want to be on a national level, international level because that's where it's going. Okay, why though? Just to say that you're in a magazine and you show your pretty face or you show your tail, you know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
rub in people's faces like I made it? Or is it because you want to make an impact and you're purpose and driven and intentional in your giftings?
But
And
here's the
when you
thing, right?
are purpose,
Here's the thing, Tanisha.
right?
Let me tell you something, right? 90% of people, right? They want to get to the building on the third floor. They don't want to do the basement. They don't want to work on the first floor. They don't want to work on the second. They want to
Oh,
get in on the
yeah.
third and just get right to the penthouse. Put
Well,
the
because
work
they
in.
believe there's a lot of entitlement in society today. It's almost an illness where people feel really entitled,
It's
like
a
I
mental illness.
deserve this. Uh, yeah, and I'm like, I do my business talk Tuesdays with TC, right? I do my IG lives, and one thing I've addressed is, and that show is geared to business owners, right? For people who are just starting, or for business owners who want to take their business from A to B, right? They want to go to the next level. And I often tell my young entrepreneurs, right? Because they come with all the zeal and come with all the energy, like, I want my own business. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to school and and they want to be millionaires out the gate. And I said, listen, there's nothing wrong with the goal of wanting to be a millionaire. But if you are just starting and no one knows your name, you haven't, let's say you do eyebrows and you haven't touched one eyebrow, but you think you're going straight to Beyonce. Miracles can happen, but more than likely, you're going to have to put in the work. And that means you're going to have to start with maybe not charging $250 per eyebrow, but might have to start with $60. You might even have to do some pro bono free things.
Right.
God forbid. You might have to put in that work, right? And when you put that in, and okay, now you're building a name for yourself and your brand, right? Like you're putting your quality of work is out there. Pete, you're making connections now because when you attend that festival, when you attend that workshop, when you attend that, community fair, somebody always knows somebody, right?
Right.
That is going to be watching you or talking about you. And then, okay, now you're cooking with something because you're making some connections that are meaningful. And now you can work towards, okay, now we can raise our prices because guess what? You do have some credibility. You did work on somebody who got published in a magazine. And you're getting the credit for that. So now we can move that $60 price to 125. You know what I'm saying? In your clientele, we can
Right.
be a little bit more choosier with who you want to. But there's a business plan and there's a business process that goes with that. And that's what you're talking about, right? They don't want to work the basement or the first floor, but you got to
Right.
put in that work because what they see is the penthouse. But in order where I am now and where I'm going to continue to grow, this is Saturday evenings. You know what I'm saying? Podcast interviews. This is late nights and early mornings of going to the gym and doing emails and creating content and getting on Zoom calls with people who live in different time zones and making it work because I want to put in that work because I want to get to where I need to go. So it's not just being cute, you know what I'm saying? And showing up and looking great and everyone taking a nice picture and you posting it on IG and you made it. You haven't. This takes real
Mhm.
work.
I
And
blame
very
social
few are
media.
willing to put in.
Here's the thing,
What was
right?
that?
I blame social media, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
People look at social media, right? And they look at these celebrities. The celebrities never put in the work they put in. They never put the failures. They take 45 pictures before they post one because
That's
they want the
right. It's
perfect
true.
view They want the perfect angle. They don't want a teacher to show. They want the light to hit a certain way because this is my good side. And that is detrimental to those people that don't know any better, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have these kids coming in, and all they see is perfection. They see winning. They see advancement. They see ice. They see cars. They don't care if things are rented. They don't care if anything is owned. They don't care how many tries it took to get it perfected. They don't care about any of that. So when you look at things, right, and people show things from A to Z without showing the rest of the
Yeah.
alphabet, you're doing a detriment to these kids and Generation Z that doesn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like it sucks because do the workshops, do
Yeah.
the IG lives, and show people the right way. Show people what customer acquisition cost means. Show people what a return on investment is. Show people what the profit loss margin is. Show people what a LLC is, what a DBA is, what the difference is, what a S corp, C corp. These are all things that
Right.
financial literacy we don't show these kids. So they think everything is just sweet. All they see is perfection and people winning. Like,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, um, it's sad. It's sad, and we're doing a
Mm-hmm.
detriment to this generation coming up, and they think everything is just smells sweet, looks sweet, and the grass is always green on the other side because you don't know that behind that grass is a whole bunch of snakes, but you can't see them because you're not on that side. But you want to get on that side though,
Yeah.
you know?
No, it's so true. Um, it is so true, and then not to even mention, they take that one picture out of the 45 and it's filtered and photoshopped and they got their graphics person looking at it and their team looking at it and then okay,
Mm-hmm.
calculated. We're posting this at this time on this day because
Mm-hmm.
collaboration here. We're going to get the blogs to talk about this here. So it's, this that's a business
Right.
that to put a lot of work with. So I agree with you, and that's why I do my business talks with TC on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. for the Eastern time, 11 a.m. for my West Coast people, and to show like the nitty gritty, like the nuts and bolts, like this is work. You're gonna have many failures. You're gonna have several failures, more failures before you get consecutive wins. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it
I tell
takes
people all the
wisdom.
time,
It takes time.
you're gonna hear no so many times before you hear yes. But all you need is that one yes. That's all you need.
Yes. I don't believe, there's no way. I don't believe there's no's. I don't believe in no's. I love that Chris Jenner says this. She kind of made this known when she was interviewed. She's like, I don't accept no. There's just another way. If it's not going to work here, there's a yes somewhere. It's just finding the yes.
Right.
But
I
that
mean,
takes
shout out to
determination. That
Chris,
takes
shout out to Chris
willpower.
Jenner because she took a family of, I don't want to disrespect them and say no talent, but they have nothing that separates them from just regular women and
Okay.
made them all millionaires. So shout out to Chris Jenner.
And some billionaires.
Like, yo,
And
they're
she built an
all
empire,
millionaires.
all millionaires, some billionaires. Kim and Kylie are billionaires, I believe.
Jesus
And
Christ.
listen, and the checks are still coming in. She built not I don't even want to say an empire, she built a dynasty. She has.
Right.
And smart with it. So whatever you might think, I happen to love the Kardashians. Like I love like the Jenners and Kardashians
Yo, how could you
and the
not though?
business
They
models that you
geniuses.
can look at. They truly are. There you just said it. Marketing and branding geniuses.
Right.
And but you don't she talks about her daily routine and you could listen. I'm not telling you anything exclusive. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Google and see this. They talk about when she gets has been interviewed by numerous blogs, podcasts, magazines. That woman's up at 5 a.m. working out. Get her day starts before anybody's even out of bed.
Right.
and she's in bed by 9 o'clock. Like, and they say she's a strict stickler with that. And that's a lot of celebrities, a lot of people in the business have schedules like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different for different artists and depending what you do, but they don't that's not glamorous to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, where even I'm headed and how I got here. This took a year of really concentrating on me. Like, I didn't go out like I did. I wasn't so accessible to people like I was. The price went up, truly. You know what I'm saying? And it will continue to go up even after this publication. But why is that? I put in the work. You know what I'm saying? I had to delegate funds. I had to say, okay, I want to invest here and not invest here and pull back here. And
Mm-hmm.
all right, I want to connect here. I had to be strategic about the events I went to and what I did. And you know what I'm saying? Because I had goals in mind. I just couldn't
Right.
be anywhere doing everything with everyone.
Right.
Not when I was laser focused. But
Because that's the thing.
that's the hard work and sacrifice that a lot of people want to skip over.
Right. But that's the thing that people don't realize, right? People don't realize that when you attend everything and you're accessible to everyone, it waters down your brand. It waters down
Oh yeah.
everything that you're trying to do because you have to, it gets to a point where you have to be selfish, right? It gets to a point where you're
Hmm.
like, you know what? I choose me. Nothing personal about anything or anyone or anybody's brand or whatever the case may be. I choose me. At what point do you
That's it.
choose you? And that's when when things start opening up, when your vision becomes clear, when everything just starts to click. Because
Hmm.
when you're dividing yourself and try to make everybody happy and you want everybody to love you and whatever the case may be, then they're all taking from you, but nobody's depositing. At what point do you have people around you that are making mental deposits into your energy, into your brand, into you? You have to cut your losses. You have to strategically, like you said, strategically move, pick and choose what you do, pick and choose your events and things like that because you have to choose you.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. And I had to work on myself as a coach and consultant, right? And that was birthed out of me meeting a coach and consultant and saying, and I had, the stigma is I was like, those people are so weird. Everyone's a life coach now, like whatever. I'm a licensed professional. What are you going to teach me? But I'm thankful. I was humbled. You know what I mean? Because they taught me a lot. I didn't know about business. I didn't know about entrepreneurship. And they were like, you're sitting on millions and you don't even know it. You're
Right.
surrounded by money and you don't even know it. Everything around you is rich. And meaning, not just rich and wealthy with dollar signs, but in your relationships, in your network, in your giftings, in your purpose, in your story, of how
Listen,
you've overcome adversity.
your network is your net worth.
It's true.
The people that could have conversation with individuals that have done it is completely different from the people that are sitting on the building stoop. When you are the sixth person having conversations with five millionaires, the talk is different. That rave
Very.
talk, we not they're not sitting around talking about people. They're not sitting around gossiping. They're not sitting about talking about who's sleeping with who. They're talking about investments. They're talking about 401ks, Roths, IRAs, and
That's right.
stocks and investing their money. The talk is different. If you're not having those conversations with your friends, you got to change your friends because
Yes, that
but what's the
that
point?
is
Because at
true.
what point you can't be 35, 40, 45 years old over here talking about, yo, so you heard so and so sleeping with so and so? Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? No,
It's so
give me a
funny.
stock tip. Yo,
I
what are
had
we investing in
clients
next week? Like,
that she has so much to offer. This is the truth. And she said, And she's always so concerned about social media, like I feel like I'm posting too much, or what picture looks professional. I said, or people are going to think I'm doing too much. That's a lot of her limiting belief. I said, let me ask you this. Do you think that Diddy, who's on the ocean eating mangoes, calls his boys or his team and says, is this too much? Am I doing too much? This
Not at
love
all.
era, like, is it too much? Are people going to get sick of me? No. So you are focused on the wrong thing. I don't
Tunnel
care who
vision.
thinks it's too much. Right. And
Hmm.
you know what? And those that think it's too much, those are not your people. That's not your audience. That's not your clientele. That's not your network. Because there's gonna be people who embrace that too much
Right.
and know how to flip that money into too much. You get what I'm saying? But it's a different mindset that we got to operate with. And so many people are just, so concerned with what people think and how's this going to look and how's this going to come out. And I'm speaking from a place of experience because that was me for a long time. I remember I had business people, and there have been opportunities. I don't believe we ever lose opportunities. Like if it's meant for us, it comes back around. I've had
Hmm.
people prominent in the music business. They said, I'll never forget. I did a recording and I didn't want to be seen on camera. This is when I was probably at my heaviest. And I remember the producer said, can I talk to you like after we do this? And he said, you're a beautiful woman, but it's so obvious that you got some self-esteem, like confidence stuff. You might want to work on that because it hinders you and you're a great talent. And he was so raw with me, and so it wasn't mean. It was what I needed to hear in my 20 something years. And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like 25
Hmm.
years old in Manhattan, like, okay. And he said, really,
Right.
you have so much. If you don't conquer this, you're never going to get to where you need to be. You got to embrace who you are, big, small, medium, loud, soft. Like with you not embracing it, you're your biggest hindrance.
Right. I mean, I've been saying something since I was a teenager, and people always said, "Oh my God, you are so cocky." And this is what I used to say. People used to always say, "Damn, Jay, you're too much." And I used to always say, "I am just the right amount." I've never allowed someone to tell me I'm too much, ever. Like that's from young, and that's just the. I believe in myself. I'm confident, and people misconstrue confidence with cockiness. There's a difference. There's a
Yeah,
huge
there's
difference. You know what I'm
a
saying?
big difference.
But people don't.
It's true. And I got the best compliment the other day. I met with a good friend of mine about some collaborations, and my friend Ray Rodriguez, who's big in the city of Newburgh. He does a lot for the Latino community, and very passionate about what he does, and is really connected to a lot of things in the community. And he said to me, I love this new like air of confidence and energy that you have because this is truly who you are. Like this is who the world's been waiting to see, and you're walking into your appointed destiny.
Right.
And that to me, just like, and this was 2 years of not having to see him. COVID threw a wrench and everything. So,
Right.
I mean, we always kept in touch, but seeing him, I was like, wow, like really putting the work into myself is showing in a different way. So I'm just so thankful.
Right. I don't. I mean, it. Cat Williams did a special, and I'm gonna end the show. I'm gonna end the interview with this. Cat Williams did a special,
Okay.
right, about 10, maybe 12 years ago, where he said, "I never understood why people let you feel bad about your self-esteem. How you gonna let a motherfucker tell you about your self-esteem? It's you. It's how you feel. How you gonna let somebody tell you how you feel about your motherfucking self? How?" And when he said it, everything went crazy. Oh my God, Cat Williams is crazy. He's on drugs, this, that, and the third. And I sat back and I said, wow, that really went over people's heads. How are
Hmm.
you going to let someone affect how you feel about yourself? Look at the diamond in that. Don't let nobody make you feel any less about yourself. And that goes to business, life, relationships, everything. Believe in
Everything.
yourself. Walk in faith. Be transparent. You're
Yes.
going to be good. And Miss Castellanos, you are someone that has walked this earth, and I don't know how long God is going to, leave one of his angels here with us, but I want to give you your flowers while you're here. You are an amazing person. You are an amazing friend. You are someone that walks in their faith, walks in their truth, and it's beautiful to see the transition that you have made personally and professionally. It's just beautiful to see. Let the people know, please, where they can reach you, how they can reach you, what you have coming up. Give them the date again for the magazine. Give them the date again for their IG live for them to tune in.
Yes. Thank you, Jay, so much. Thank you. Gutta. Sorry. Straight facts with Gutta. I know. Jay Gutta, I got away from
Yes.
Gouda, so I'm good. Um, Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude and thankfulness for your words. Um, I believe that everything sometimes we want to say to people, we say at funerals, and we don't say it while they're here, and we have to change that narrative. So thank you again so much. It's an honor and privilege to be on your show and to be connected to you and to network with you. And you are one that has believed in me since the moment you met me, from the moment we were connected, and you have always encouraged me through tough love, you know what I'm saying, when I needed it. And I just cannot thank you enough for that. Um, so you can connect with me, Instagram. I'm Tanisha C. That's my name on there. You can reach with me on Facebook, Tanisha Castellanos. You can reach with me on Twitter. I'm Tanisha C. My email, tanisha.castellanos@gmail.com. Real simple. If you want to connect with me as being a potential client, or feel like might need consulting, and that's more for what do I do with my life? Where am I headed? You know what I mean? How do I make a plan for myself when I want to do so many different things? So that's a lot of people today. We can set up a consultation to kind of really get a blueprint for, okay, let's get focused. And what are the things we're going to focus on? So you can DM me and message me. That's the best way to go about it. You can join me on my series, Business Talk Tuesdays with TC, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays on the East Coast, 11 a.m. for my West Coast people. And I have myself, along with very successful entrepreneurs, business owners. I can't wait I'm ending series now, series one next week. But I mean, I have boutique owners, real estate, I have business moguls coming on. Entertainers, I'm going to have graphic artists. It's amazing what I'm going to have, because people, um, I started that because I remember when I was starting out, like the same people I was supporting, when I had questions for them, I heard crickets. It's like no one wanted to talk to me. And that really, I believe, is people want to see you doing good, but they never want to see you doing better than them. And I'm seriously, I
Facts.
was just like, is this like a secret code? Like, why is no one talking to me? Like, I've supported these people. So I started this and I said, God, when I get to where I need to get, I'm gonna be a person of resource for them, and I'm gonna give to people. So my talk show on Tuesdays at 2 p.m., you log on, it's IG live right now, and you come on and we talk about who that person is, their business, why they started, and the essential tips that they would give to getting started, or maybe just wanting to grow from where they are. So, with all that being said, you can catch me in the Amari magazine, which is going to come out on August 25th. I'll be in the LA area in August. I'll be out there in Orange County, Southern California, for that event where I'll be not just in the magazine celebrating that publication, but I'll be receiving a Heroes of Change award as well as performing at this red carpet event. So I am super excited. If you're interested in publishing the magazine, amarimagazine.com. It's going to come out. Got a lot of good people in there, that are talking about different things that they do. And I'm just excited because it's really, onward and upward from here.
Nice. Thank you so much. And that was Straight Facts with Gutta, episode 13 with Miss Tanisha Castellanos, LCSW. Thank you.